All right, gamers, buckle up. We're back for another spin around the game loop. And, this week we're going to be talking about someone who's been making headlines in the gaming world, but maybe not for the reasons you'd think. Elon Musk. Yeah, you heard that right. It seems like Elon's really been trying to solidify that gamer image. But some of his claims, well, they've raised a few eyebrows. Let's just say that. The gaming community is a tough crowd. They like proof. And speaking of proof, let's start with Diablo 4. He's out there saying he's like one of the top players in the world, even claimed to beat Diablo tier 150 in under 2 minutes. Is that even possible?
It's tough to say for sure because, get this, Diablo 4 doesn't actually have like official leaderboards. So players have to use these third-party sites for rankings, which they're not always super accurate.
So right off the bat, we're already in murky territory. But then you've got like Siki Chen, the CEO of Runway. He's openly questioning Elon's claims. He's even suggesting that Elon might be using pro gamers to boost his account.
Yeah, hiring ringers to make you look good.
Yeah.
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, it's not unheard of, but without any solid evidence, it's all just speculation at this point.
Okay, so maybe the Diablo thing is a little fishy. But then there's Path of Exile too. And this is where things get really interesting. Elon's got this high-level hardcore character, Perseverance. At one point, he was ranked like 7th globally.
Yeah.
Even bragged about getting temporarily banned for clicking too fast.
Too many button clicks, that's what he said. You'd think he'd have to be some kind of clicking machine.
Right, like some insane APM.
Well, the Path of Exile 2 community, they decided to take a closer look at his gameplay streams, and they found a bunch of, like, rookie mistakes, things that a player of his supposed skill level just wouldn't do.
Like what? Give me an example.
Not noticing mana drain, ignoring valuable loot, having a completely disorganized inventory, basic stuff.
When ignoring loot, that's like a cardinal sin.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, right?
Okay, so maybe Diablo is a little fuzzy, but Path of Exile 2, that's got to be legit right. Wrong. Remember that time Elon streamed Path of Exile 2 from an airplane?
Yeah.
To show off Starlink?
Yeah.
Well, some people noticed something strange about the account he was using. It was called Monkey Business. It was set to Chinese language settings. And there were some interactions that suggested it wasn't actually his account.
Yeah, and to make things even weirder in more recent streams, his stash tabs in Path of Exile 2 had labels like Elon's map. Why would you need to label your own stash tabs with your name?
It's all very suspicious, isn't it? Of course, this wouldn't be an Elon Musk story without a little drama. Enter Asmongold. He's a big streamer, and he called Elon out for potentially boosting his account.
Oh, yeah, and Elon didn't take that very well, unfollowed Asmongold, and then he leaked their private DMs.
Leaked their DMs? Seriously. I mean, if you're so confident in your gaming skills, why even bother with that? It seems like he's trying to distract from the real issues.
It does kind of make you question his motivations. I mean, there's a difference between being proud of your gaming achievements and just seeming insecure, like you're desperate to prove something.
Maybe it's a billionaire thing. I don't know. But hey, enough about Elon and his interesting gaming adventures. Let's move on to some real industry news.
That's a whole mess, really. But let's move on to something a little more exciting. The Nintendo Switch 2. Backward compatibility is a huge win for Nintendo fans. But what about new experiences? What's the big game going to be? The one that makes everyone run out and buy the new console?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? We saw a little bit of new Mario Kart in the reveal trailer, and that's pretty much a guaranteed system seller. But what about something really groundbreaking? It's like something that pushes the boundaries, like the Wii's motion controls or the 3DS's 3D. What's the Switch 2 going to bring that's going to blow our minds?
That's the million-dollar question. Nintendo's been pretty secretive about the details so far. We know it'll have a bigger screen, redesigned controllers, maybe even more powerful hardware. But the real magic is going to be how they use all of that to create those unique Nintendo experiences.
I'm hoping for something totally unexpected. Maybe they'll do something with augmented reality or completely change how we interact with games. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Knowing Nintendo, they've probably got some tricks up their sleeves. But let's circle back to Tencent for a sec. That Chinese military company label from the U.S., that's a pretty big deal. What are the implications of that?
Well, if the U.S. actually follows through with restrictions, it could really mess with Tencent's business in the West. And that's huge because they own Riot Games, the company behind League of Legends. And any problems there could have a ripple effect throughout the entire esports scene.
Totally. Imagine if people couldn't play games like League of Legends or other Tencent games anymore. It would be chaos. And this whole thing, it really shows how much geopolitics is starting to affect the gaming world, It's a reminder that even virtual worlds aren't separate from what's happening in the real world.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer. It's like we just want to play games and have fun, but
Okay.
then there's all this other stuff that gets in the way.
It is a complicated situation, no doubt about it. One worth paying attention to. But on a lighter note, let's talk about live service games. We talked about Sony canceling some of their projects. Are other companies kind of backing away from the live service model too?
Seems like the honeymoon phase is over. Companies are starting to realize that constantly pumping out new content isn't a guaranteed recipe for success.
Yeah.
And honestly, as a player, I'm kind of relieved. Sometimes I just want a good game that has a beginning and an end. Not every game needs to be a never-ending grind.
Definitely. And speaking of games that have been in development for a long time, what's the latest with Star Citizen? That game feels like it's been in development forever.
Oh man, Star Citizen, it's like the never-ending story of game development. Last I checked, they'd raised over $777 million. It's crazy.
It's amazing how dedicated both the developers and the fans are.
Oh yeah, the Star Citizen community is something else. They're so passionate about that game, they're willing to wait years and years for it to be finished.
It's really a fascinating example of what crowdfunding can do for game development. But let's be real, Star Citizen is always in the news for a reason. There are tons of bugs, glitches, features that never seem to get finished. It's like paying hundreds of dollars for a game that's still in alpha.
True. But for a lot of those fans, the potential of what Star Citizen could be is more important than the current state of the game. It's almost like a leap of faith.
Yeah, I guess they're saying we're in it for the long haul, which is pretty admirable, I guess. But let's switch gears for a minute and talk about something a little more fun. Gaming fan art. There's so much creativity out there.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how passionate people are about these games.
Speaking of passion, have you heard about what Koei Tecmo's been doing? They're the company behind the Dead or Alive series, and they've been taking down tons of fan art every year, saying it's inappropriate.
Wait, seriously. Dead or Alive? The game that's known for its, well, let's just say revealing outfits. They're cracking down on fan art. That seems kind of hypocritical.
They're saying they're trying to protect the image of their characters, who they see as, like, daughters.
Like daughters. That's a little weird, especially considering what Dead or Alive is all about.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange situation. Makes you think about censorship and double standards in the gaming industry. But let's end this segment on a happier note. What's the weirdest gaming news you've seen lately?
Weirdest news. Well, this was more of a head-scratcher than anything else. Doritos is coming out with a new flavor, inspired by the Minecraft movie.
Minecraft-flavored Doritos. I don't even know what to say to that.
I know, right? They're going to be creeper-flavored?
Creeper-flavored? What does a creeper even taste like? Explosions and pixels. I guess we'll have to try them and find out.
I'm curious, but also a little scared. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. From Elon Musk's gaming controversies to the Nintendo Switch 2, Tencent's big moves, and even Minecraft-flavored Doritos. But we're not done yet. We'll be right back after this quick message. All right, we're back and ready for more gaming news. Before the break, we were talking about Tencent and their potential moves in the industry. Looks like they might be throwing a lifeline to a company that's been having a bit of a rough time lately, Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft's been dealing with some internal issues and a few releases that haven't exactly been blockbusters. But Tencent's interested in investing, maybe even starting a new venture using some of Ubisoft's biggest franchises. That could really shake things up.
It's like a big rescue mission, right? Tencent's got the money and the global reach to give Ubisoft the support it needs to get back on track. But there's always that little bit of worry when a giant company like Tencent gets involved.
For sure. Will Ubisoft still be able to do its own thing creatively? Will Tencent try to control what kind of games they make? It's a tough situation, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
It's a high-stakes game for sure. And the future of Ubisoft is hanging in the balance. But hey, enough about the business side of things. Any cool indie games caught your eye recently?
Actually, yeah, there's this really charming puzzle platformer called Quantum Kitty that's been getting some buzz. It's got a unique art style puzzles that'll make your brain melt and a really sweet story about a cat that can travel through time and space.
A time-traveling cat. I'm sold. Sounds like the perfect mix of cute and challenging.
Exactly. It just goes to show how indie developers are pushing the limits of creativity and coming up with fresh ideas.
It's really inspiring to see that kind of passion and originality. All right, before we wrap things up, I gotta ask, what are you most excited about in the world of gaming right now?
You know what? I'm just excited to see what surprises the next generation of games has in store for us. We've got new consoles on the way, advancements in things like VR and AR, and a whole bunch of talented new developers out there. It feels like we're on the verge of something really special.
I couldn't agree more. It's a great time to be a gamer, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the future holds. But for now, it's time to put down the controllers and sign off. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world of gaming news.
It's been fun.
Keep those controllers charged, your minds open, and your eyes peeled for the next big thing in gaming. Until next time, game on.